You're live.
All right. So we are back this week. This week it's pretty jam packed actually. We have a lot of SPACs that actually uh, that were born this week that went public. We have a slew of information on not just Qualtrics, but um, we have Coinbase. We want to talk about. We want to talk about FRSX, which is Foresight Autonomous Holdings. We want to talk about QuantumScape, and there is also Cleaver Leave Holdings. Um, oh yeah, and one of let's start with this because this came across yesterday. Let me get this and we can dive off into this a little bit so and give you some insight. So this one is Mr. Alex Rodriguez forms a 575 million SPAC to IPO. In this SPAC, he's looking to get into sports, media, and wellness. So now we have to look at what companies fall under that when we're talking about this. And also, let's see, it says it gives some overview of like all the SPACs and the rage for since COVID, and then in 2020 we've seen $83 billion raised. 118 of those SPACs raised $35 billion so far in 2021. So that is gonna something I would be on the lookout for as to what companies are gonna go into this particular SPAC and what's already there. So next week, I'll come back and have a little bit more detail about Alex Rodriguez and his particular SPAC, and then those companies that are going into that, and as well as the jobs that are going in that. So we're thinking sports and media and wellness. So I could see something like a Peloton or new bike or exercise equipment, or in this case also um nutrition as well too. All right, so that's just one. So let me pull up uh this other one that I was looking at. All right, so and then we'll go to the website. So here, I don't know if folks saw this right here. Mercedes is getting into. Let me log in real quick. All right, so Mercedes is getting into the EV scene, but they're building. It's Mercedes Maybach, and they chose Alabama to build their new factory. So they're gonna build the GLS 600. It didn't give what I didn't find was the insight on the location in Alabama, but regardless of the fact, I don't know if people are familiar with. Let me go back over here. Familiar with Mercedes and DevSecOps and even BMW when it comes to DevSecOps. Let me pull up. I'll pull up BMW and then I'll pull up Mercedes too. So if you ever been to the Linux Foundation, they have a what they call, let's pull it up over here, the automotive trade. So Linux Foundation, um, automotive, and there's also a automotive grade of Linux. But anyway, there's the automotive conference. So with that being said, what you're usually seeing here is your interfaces for your infotainment centers, boats, any embedded services and so forth are having embedded Linux. So that's why you see too, a lot of people are pushing to have ads directly promoted into the car. So that's been one of the big pushes for that. So I'll post this link so you can go check out automotive grade Linux. Also, so you can also go check out. Let me see if I can pull up the conference as well too, so you can check the conference out. All right, so let's go and see if we can go on YouTube and check out the conference here. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because these are jobs that the people are looking for, embedded engineers and so forth. So as you can see here, just looking under the hood, automotive compliance with synopsis. So thinking about security when we're looking at that. Here's the Linux Foundation on building and testing on an automotive platform. The 2018 Toyota Camry has the automotive grade Linux. Let's go to Linux Foundation automotive grade. Let's see if we can pull up the conference. That's what I'm looking for. Hold on one second. And don't forget to drop your questions and comments in the chat. Let's see. All right. So here, let's look at events. So they had the summit. They had a summit that was due to be coming up in Japan, and one that was virtual for March the 17th through the 18th. Let's go back. Let's look at what a schedule will look like. Let's see if they got one. Okay, so on a schedule, we can blow this up a little bit. Embedded Linux solutions, automotive grade Linux on a Raspberry Pi, a hackathon, device virtualization, architecture in automotive. So inside of the car, we're doing virtualization. What does that look like? Frameworks. Down here, virtual input output drivers based on virtualization for cars. So just a little overview of what they're looking like. It's probably slim right now because they're probably just ramping up. But again, just something to think about when you're thinking about, okay, well, how does one get into because there is at BMW and at Mercedes DevSecOps as far as like not just building out the cars, but the actual applications that need to go into the car and so forth and so on. So just a little FYI on that right there. All right, let's get to the next one. All right. So this one here is Planet Fitness, right? So out of let me pull it up on another one, on another browser. All right, so Planet Fitness. Oh, it's not coming up. It was pulled up this morning. But anyway, $30 billion. Their stock climbed up because in the Biden actual project, they're talking more and more about fitness. So that's why you get that's why that stock went up, and also the stock went up as well. Because again, people are trying to start to open back up, so you'll see that more and more. All right, let me pull up. And I couldn't find anything like on Planet Fitness as far as jobs. Like I couldn't find, I'm sure there's somebody that has to, set up the gyms in terms of the actual infrastructure itself, in terms of like, hey, you users and back office in. So I'm sure it's someone that does that. The next one that I found out about was this one right here. So this one, BIGG Digital Assets. So we'll look them up. Let me pull up my Charles Schwab here. I think this particular company was offering grants. So let's look at it. Yeah, GG. Big Tree Group is see is what I'm getting over here when I look up BIGG. See, no chart, so that they haven't released anything yet. But in here, what you'll see is they're offering. They're out of Vancouver. They're offering common shares back to their investors. Oh, and I shouldn't say investors, into their employees. And they came up this week. I can't remember who they fell under when I was looking at this last week. They're inside of a SPAC. And I had to pull that back up. I had to pull up last week info because that's why I pulled them up. They're inside of a SPAC. All right, so now let's look at, see what I have here. All right, so this came from ARC. All right, so ARC announced this weekend. We can go into these a little bit more. The 15 big ideas for disruptive innovation, and if anybody follow ARC, you know their ETFs are RKK, RKQ, RKF, RKG. I think one is called RKW, and the new one that hasn't been released yet is RKX, which will be their space ETF. But anyway, these are the top when you're looking at this right here. They're talking about disruptive innovation, but we're also talking about not trends, but actual technology. So deep learning, the reinvention of the data center. You know, what does that look like? Like, again, you'll see more GPUs. Again, they're predicting that to be a $40 billion industry by 2030. Virtual worlds. And it's, speaking of virtual worlds, I was on a Clubhouse talk last night, and it was, hey, if you are an investor, well, it was a bunch of investors and people were pitching their ideas, and they had 45 seconds to pitch their idea. One guy came up and he's like, hey, I'm seeking $50,000 to create a platform to help kids understand how to guide and create projects on Roblox. So they were like, yeah, a lot of those kids that are on there are already millionaires because they're between the ages of 15 and 16, and they're already creating their games and stuff on this particular platform. And a lot of the investors that were on there have children, and they was like, hey, you know, I had to tell my kid to go to bed, but you know, if I would feel better if someone was helping guide her on how to create the actual how to create the games, to understand some basic understanding and so forth and so on. So it also the guy mentioned like 5 different YouTubers to follow, and they were under the age of 16. They were already multimillionaires that were creating games. So again, virtual worlds and creating games and so forth were just something to think about. Digital wallets, of course, as Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain takes off, that's what you'll start seeing with digital wallets. Even the banks have digital wallets now when you log in. As Bitcoin prepares for institutions, EV, electric vehicles, we've seen that autonomous robots or automation of robots and even autonomous vehicles, we've seen that take off. You saw Zool take off from Amazon bought that company for I think they bought for 1.8 billion or 2 billion. And then automation of robots, and the company I'm talking about is Zool, Amazon. This is Zool, Amazon, Robotaxi. I think that's what it was called, like a Robotaxi that they bought. Yeah, self-driving Robotaxi right there. Zox, that's what it was. That one. Azul. So they bought this particular so last year or year before last. I think it was year before last. They bought it. Anyway, black owned, black lady did this, and this was bought. So keep that in mind. All right, drone delivery. Of course, we'll see that take off. Orbital airspace, 3D printing, long road sequencing. So, next generation DNA sequencing is expected to grow. Kathy talks about this all the time, where you can look into a somebody's DNA and see that you can see the gene cancer in there, nuke it, really nuke the gene cell, and then then we can start reproducing and getting rid of these long life ailments that people may have. Multi-cancer screening, cell and gene therapy are all the big ones that she has mentioned. Again, just thinking out loud of different things that you could be getting into. I'm going to post this link so that everyone has it. Let me find my screen where I have everything up. All right. So the next thing we want to look at is on my list. I'll come back. All right. It's actually Nordstrom's. And we all know Nordstrom has a big IT uh, background. I don't know. Come on, stop it. Different browser. Sorry. All right. So Nordstrom has they're looking to get into drop shipping. Down here they explain from the view of Nordstrom's. So drop shipping just means that a retailer or a marketplace website is selling an item to a customer, but the item is owned and shipped directly to the customer by the supplier, not the retailer that sold it. So they're looking to increase, and there's different ways. They know they got to change, not with just COVID itself, but just to stay awake, stay alive in the game. So if we go to Indeed.com, let's see if we can find some jobs at Nordstrom's. Let's see. All right, let's see what we come up with, because I know they have a DevSecOps one because they've been hiring for it forever. Let me go up and do a different search here. Let's look up engineer. Let's see, pull back. Spell that wrong. National careers. All right, let's go to probably be at headquarters. Probably technology. All right, question: where did the jobs go? We clicked on technology. Do I need to go here? Code your career here. All right, let's see. Senior project manager, customer experience, retail. Let me see. Do they have? Let's go filter technology there. All right, UX senior site reliability engineer, engineer 2 finance technology, engineer 1, a principal engineer, engineer 2 for a payments platform, senior IT technician, IT technician, program manager, director of vulnerability management. And as you can see, some of these are in Seattle and California. Engineering manager, technical program manager, and senior engineer. So when you think about DevSecOps or automation or UX or anything of that nature, even supply chain technology, you can start thinking about Nordstrom's. They speak at conferences too. They're pretty well known on that end. So just something, food for thought for there. And let's see, we can close that out. All right. So the next one we want to look at, let me go back up. All right, it's SIRC. All right, and SIRC here. There are talks of the EV charging stations and so forth. Their stocks actually shot up. Let's look them up on ChartSpot here. SIRC. All right. So on SIRC, you can see that trend, and that's in a month, right? This is what it looked like for the day. This is what it looked like over the past 5 days. This looked like what it looks like over the past month. And you can see there was a low of 15 cents, and then they shot up. They had a high of $3 here, and then we're talking about charging EV in that market. So again, still falling on that same line. Let's look at this one. This is Cleaver Leaves Holdings, CLVR. CLVR is the ticker symbol. So let's look at the summary. But basically, here what we're finding here is they had a multi year supply deal with Brazil's Entourage Photo Lab. That was big. Came out with that was 11.4 million over the term of the agreement. Let's go look at what their stock looked like. So one day, a dip of 10 and a high of 11.49. Let's look at it for a month. As you can see, for a month, we got some volatility here, a low, and we shot up to a high, what we look like for 3 months. Low, everything's low here. Well, below the 13 line. So hopefully they'll get a boost, but let's talk about them. They were a SPAC, and I'll bring this over so you can see what I'm reading. Transactions are increasingly popular. The cannabis focused SPAC initial public offerings raised more than $2.6 billion for the second half of 2019 through 2020, including $700 million just in the first half of the year. So let's go look up Cleaver Holdings. Let's go look and see what kind of jobs they got. It'll be interesting. Let's go look. All right. Pharmaceuticals. Yep, multinational cannabis operator. All right, let's look at Yahoo Finance. Well, better yet, we need to go to their site actually. Let me see. Cleaver Leaves. All right, let's go whenever it renders to their careers. All right, let's see. Contact us, investors, about us. Let's go to about us. Let's look at their leadership team. No? Okay. Our mission. Oh, there we go. That's their leadership team. Their mission. Investors, contact us. Let me see. Do they have careers down here? Let me look. Oops. It went away from me. Where'd it go? All right. Where did it just go? Oh, here we go. Right here. Don't see any jobs. See to contact us. And contact us just leads us to contact us. Suppliers of code, investors, how you can invest. With Brazil, that's what they did. That was on January 12th. What it looked like for them on the NASDAQ. So I don't see any jobs just yet. So be on the lookout for them. Let's see. Next one is, hold on. I got more info on them from cheddar.com. See, Cleaver aims to be the breadbasket to the world of cannabis on the heels of its SPAC deal. Okay, here we go. Transaction valued at 205 million. Transaction left newly combined company with $80 million in cash on its bank sheet, and then going from there. So, just something to keep in mind on that one. All right. So the next one is QuantumScape. So I'll pull this back over. All right. So QuantumScape, I should say QuantumScape, announcing their fourth quarter, full year 2020 financial. One, and we'll go to their site to talk about them. But this deals with the development of the next generation of solid-state lithium batteries for EVs. The company mission is to revolutionize energy storage to enable the future. Here is the source for that. Their timing on that. So we have that. Let's look at on this stock. Let's go look at the jobs. So the jobs that I found were, so you got finance, R&D, EHS, quality, electrolyte cell development. Let's keep going down. Hardware engineering, facilities, materials development, physical characterization, deep learning expert, R&D, process engineering, product engineering, of course, research people, software engineering, IT, security engineer, software engineer, and then director of sales or corporate communications and marketing. I'll drop this inside of the chat in case someone wants to take a look at that. And you could tell me what you're thinking when you're looking these up and looking for jobs. Again, the goal here, and remember this, the goal here is to look at these specs. Really, you want to be looking at these companies inside the specs and getting into them before they IPO. One, because you want to get your shares up, and the other piece is you want to be in and set the tone on what that looks like for you in terms of people that you bring in, setting the culture and the tone of the culture, and getting in on the ground floor versus trying to get in at the top where they're already at the top and then trying to make a change. So again, QuantumScape is super huge. One thing we should go look up, their ticker symbol is QS. Let me pull up my Charles Schwab account here and look at QuantumScape. So should still be logged in here. Let's go to research, and we just type in the symbol QS. Right. All right. So their ticker symbol here for QS, you can see what they've been doing over time. They opened up, not today, but they closed at 47.39. Here's what they look like for a 5-day low. Then they hit a high here. That's in 5 days. That's what they look like over a month. And this is what they look like over a 3-month period. They were up at a high of $132 in a 3-month period. So that was a nice little wave from 13 to 132 in a 3-month time span. So, and then that big dip. So right now is a good time to buy if you're looking at it from that perspective. And then do some more research on what they're into. So here, see, Goldman Sachs starts QuantumScape at a neutral with a 42 price target. QuantumScape files for their statement, a form of S8 with the SEC. And that's pretty much it for them right now. You can go into a little bit more of them if you want to. So that's QuantumScape. So let's go to our next one. And then we'll pull up all the alerts that I got this week for all the SPACs. So the next one is, since we're here, it is the ticker symbol FRSX. And this is Foresight Autonomous Holdings, right? So let's look at them over the, you can see what it looks like for a month. Let's look at them for 1 day. They did a big dip for 5 days. You can see started at $7, shot up to a high of $9.68. What they look like for a month out, we see a lot of highs here. 3 months out, you can see what their trajectory has looked like for this one. So why are they so hot? I know I've made money off of them. Okay, so when we're talking about this gets into the whole LiDAR. When we're talking about autonomous cars, and so forth. So Foresight is they have their own technology. And I think I have a video here. They're out of China, but they also joined Tech Lab with at Michigan. Here's a tweet that I had found. They joined Michigan's Tech Lab for 2021 startup cohort with their automated vision system designed for advanced driver. So they're going against the whole LiDAR thing. Let me see if I can pull up their stuff. They have a video for this. So let me go here. It's called EyeNet. So it's called EyeNet Mobile. And as you can see, they have it in, they're placing this, they're doing pilots, but they're placing them in everything. So here you can see in electric scooters, you can see them on telephone poles, the cars, everything. Let me see if I can pull up the video. Hopefully, I don't know if you can hear this video or not, but I'll turn it up.
The popularity of micromobility vehicles such as e-scooters and e-bikes, together with the increase in driver distraction, present new safety challenges in the shared urban mobility landscape. EyeNet's anytime, anywhere, and all-around collision detection system utilizes interconnected cellular-based V2X communication to provide comprehensive protection for vulnerable road users and pedestrians. EyeNet extends the field of view beyond line of sight.
Let me drop this inside there. You can watch this in case you didn't hear it. You can watch it yourself. Okay, audio's good. Okay, I'll turn it back.
Probable collisions and sending an alert directly to both parties, a paradigm shift in road safety, and complementing commonly used advanced driver assistance systems. EyeNet offers continuous communication between vehicles and the environment, connecting micromobility riders, infrastructure, and pedestrians for increased safety and road awareness. The sensor-free, software-based solution relies on communication between smartphones and can be seamlessly integrated into any third-party location-based application. EyeNet uses existing cellular infrastructures and is compatible with 3G, 4G, and 5G networks.
So you get an idea of where they're going with that. All right, and that's being they have it, they tell you right here the markets that they're aiming at. Mobility markets, mobile networks, automotive. Wouldn't be surprised if they go into any autonomous cars here. I mean, it's endless with this. They're bringing this here to the States as well too. So just something to keep in mind when we're talking about this. Okay. All right. So now let's go back and show you where they've already filed their patent here in the States. So that means they're going to start manufacturing in the States, and also start using their hiring. They've also have integrated its integration with NVIDIA. So so when you start seeing that, and I don't know if you've been keeping up with NVIDIA stocks, uh, this is already going to be in the cloud already, and so it'll probably be used in various platforms with GPUs and so forth. They're also have started off with their patent. They filed a notice of allowance from the Chinese Patent Office for patented technology, running vehicle alerting system and method, following the approval from the U.S. Patent and Trade Office in April of 2019. So a little more research on them for that. And then, if you didn't know what LiDAR was, here is here is what LiDAR is: light detection and ranging. That's the difference between them. They're not using LiDAR. They want they're using they have their own platform that they're using, but LiDAR is being used right now in a lot of autonomous cars. I want to even say that that's what Tesla is using, but don't quote me on that. I will have to look that up, but don't quote me on that. All right. Any questions so far? By the way, I've been talking. I have not stopped to ask people, do they have questions, comments, what's going on, like it, don't like it. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well too. All right. So next thing that I want to talk about here, I did Faraday Future last year, so I won't go over them this week. What I do want to go over is Coinbase. I know everybody's been following Coinbase. So Coinbase chooses a direct listing route to public markets. So instead of going through the traditional, they're doing a direct listing. And in December, the company shared that it confidentially filed an S1 with the U.S. Security Exchange Commission. Coinbase is in San Francisco. Bitcoin is currently being traded. Blah blah blah. This is an old article. Let me see how old this article is. January 28th, 2021. All right. So Coinbase has their direct listing. They raised $547 million. So just be on the lookout for investing in Coinbase. And then when we're talking about Coinbase, you're talking about what jobs at Coinbase. So you can type in Coinbase careers. Probably can go directly to Coinbase.com, and then probably on here find something with careers. Let's keep going down. Okay, we got ventures and products, careers. All right, let's view all positions. Let's go into engineering, staffed, applied, cartographer, back end, data, front end, infrastructure, leadership, security, applications, HR. We got IT positions, service desk, IT desk, staff, technical program manager, compliance, security and privacy, application security, business continuity and resilience, manager. Yeah, I mean, they got a slew of jobs here when we're talking about. I'll put this in the chat too. So anyone is interested in checking out Coinbase, you can check out Coinbase as well. All right. So where am I going next? Well, I'm going next to my email. Why? Because there were a lot of specs that were released this week, and I need to pull them up. So let's start with what came over yesterday. All right. So here we go. Take me back to homepage. Stop it. That's awesome. Let me see if I can bring it up over here. Yeah. Yeah, that's the same thing. That's awesome. All right, let me sign in. I didn't want to. But anyway, Matterport is a merger. Let me get signed in over here and get my other email going as well. Wait a minute. Hold up. Go back to my Gmail account here. 1 second. Let me pull it back up. All right, this SPAC is said to be a merger talks with Gore, SPAC by Katie Roof, Jillian Tan, and Crystal TSE Matterproof, a maker of software. It is said to be the merger. I'm reading. Hold on. Merger with Gore SPAC Katie. Blah blah blah. So virtual basically is a maker of software for virtual walkthrough of properties. It is advanced talks to list via a blank check company, according to people familiar with it. Let me go back. So let's go look up this name, Crystal TSE Matterproof Inc. And let's look this up. So TS Matterproof Inc. And I wonder if this TSE is let's look at Gillian 10. All right. Bloomberg probably gonna tell me to sign in. Yeah, so this one is a SPAC. Let me go and see if I got more information in my email. No, don't have more information. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is Vista Solera is pull this over so you can see. All right, Vista Solera is said to go public via Apollo SPAC. Again, Gillian Tan, Crystal C, and it didn't do it this time, and Kill Porter Vista Equity Partners. All right, so let's see. They're in talks via a merger with a blank check SPAC with Apollo Growth Capital, according to people. So let's look up this one. All right, Apollo Growth Capital is a special purpose acquisition company that offers a unique path for a company to access blah blah blah. It's fully supported by Apollo leadership, so forth and so on. Let's look at the SEC filings. See, bigger online. All right, so very small, but I'll blow it up. All right, there are 8K beneficial ownerships. And then this is all me just there's a website out there that sends you, I think it's called SPAClist.com, that send you alerts of all the SPACs that are being released. And it was like 20 of them that got released this week or created this week on these different mergers. One was Alex Rodriguez. This one here, the Vista Solera. Another one that's 3.5 billion. This one is right here. 23andMe. I'm sure you saw that with a blank check for 3.5 billion. The next one that comes up is, let me go back to my email. Right email. Here we go. We can go right here. Alert Rodriguez, SPAC 23andMe. Okay, this winemaker here. Winemaker Vintage Wines Estates go public with their SPAC. That was on, it's called SPAC Monitor. That's what it is right there. And you can log in. Oh, no, I think I log in. All right. And they did that one on February 4th. Let's go back. Here we go. Virgin Group. 23 mean they released this twice a week, but it was with several different ones. That's why I got sent out these alerts. So that's what Virgin Group. The next one here, Wise LLP investigates. Oh, this was an investigation for violation. Oh yeah, some people's stocks fell this week. I saw Chamath stocks had fallen this week for one of his SPACs. as well. But you can see here like what comes in my inbox for alerts. I talked about this one last week. This Ireli EV blank check with 3.6 billion. Um, Another one here. Uh, the payment startup Payoneer. I think I looked at them last week, but we'll do it again this week. Um, and then let's go check out careers if we can. Log in. Do they have one about us? I'm seeing about us nowhere. So let's go back and let's go careers. All right, here we go. All right, so we got a technical account manager, um, a database administrator. They're based out of New York, uh, working with capital partners, capital markets, and strategic planning associate, senior compliance testing analyst, recruiter, organizational development associate. Not sure what that is. Senior API developer, recruiter, a director of FP&A, CRM, and then working with capital. So again, you get the gist of like what they're looking for in terms of that. So you can see how these specs actually are super huge in terms of like, you know, what in terms of the jobs. Again, I'm thinking from the perspective of changing culture, jobs, getting in on the ground floor versus somebody who's been around for forever and you're trying to figure it out. Let me stop sharing because we're almost at our mark here. And let me check to see if we have any questions as well too. Let me get over here and check out stuff. All right, any questions so far? Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I see you, Vladimir. Angie, I saw you earlier. Thanks for joining. Lawrence, I see you. Let's see. Anybody else? All right, cool. All right, so one of the big things that we want to do next week is I want to get into like I want to do this. I want to go into one of these jobs, okay, senior API developer, right? And then break down, you know, how can you get the experience that they're looking for? What does that look like for you? Questions you should be asking yourself as you read through these job descriptions, and then also when you're looking at these companies, you know, you have to ask yourself like, what's the longevity of the company? You know, asking what the sizes are, the teams, what do they see for growth and so forth. As you can see here, the platform for this one handles $40 billion in payments annually across 200 countries. And it says their tech stack is primarily C# and SQL and so forth. So, what are the companies looking for? What you know, how long had that position been open? Who's the manager in those positions? You know, what is the culture actually, you know, like while you're working there? And then a slew of other questions that you should be asking in terms of not just the company culture, but your growth in the company and where do you see yourself? Can you move around? And so forth. Here they got learning development opportunities, fun office culture, but you know, can I be remote? Can I be remote part of the time? Can I be remote the whole time? PTO, parental leave, fitness reimbursement, and then 401k with employer match is at 3%, 4%, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. What does that look like? And then we're talking about they have a flexible spending account versus a HSA. Maybe they do have a HSA and it's not well known. But again, just something to think about when we're talking about. When I say what may not be well known, meaning like they have a HSA, they just don't publicize it on their website. They may have one. So just something to think about when we do it, when we're looking at jobs. If we have no more, I don't see any questions. I don't see anybody that needs anything. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the last 2 weeks on jobs. Also, don't forget to sign up to our Slack. Also, don't forget to check out our merchandise, as Dion like to call it, merch. Also, don't forget to tell your friends, and also don't forget to come back for next week. Next week, we will have more. I'm gonna dig into a little bit more of the SPACs and some more of the Fortune 500 companies as they start to move up and down the scale, I should say, on the chart for not just Robinhood, but just in general, who's making money for that week. I think this week was IDX. That was another big one for me in my account. So let me, before we get out of here, I'll pull that up real quick. Let me get that ticker symbol. Ticker symbol is IDX. And then let's get onto their site. Here we go. So Ideanomics. Here we go. Why did Ideanomics stock skyrocket 94%, 94.5% in the month of January? You know I'm in there. All right, so Ideanomics published a press release on January 5th announcing that it had signed an agreement to acquire a wireless advanced vehicle electrification in joint cash and stock deal. Wave is a provider of wireless charging for EVs. So there you have it. Back to the EV. Mobile Energy Global shot up. Their stock shot up. Let me see. Let's go out 3 months. Yeah, a year. So let's look at them on ChartSwap so you can actually see what that looks like. Go here. It's called IDEX. And so you get a chance to see what that looks like, what that curve looks like. So, you know, for a day, they're down, but for 5 days, they look like this. For a month, they look like that. And for 3 months out, that's what they look like. So when you start at what 0.875 cents and then rose to $5.53 on a high. So you know, once they sign a deal, boom, they're in. And then now you start to go do the churn, right? And that churn is, let me hop over here and look up IDX careers. It's really not careers. This is when we start talking about what kind of jobs you got. And then you can see here around. Oh, that may be wrong. That may be the wrong company. It's Ideanomics. Let me type it in. There we go. Right here. Come on. You can do it. All right. And see, we got investors, stock filings. Let's scroll down to the bottom and see if they got anything on the bottom. All right, company leadership, portfolios, investors, partners. I think this is one of the ones I had looked and I was like, oh yeah, where can I find that information at? What we offer, mobility. And I think I did this on another time. But anyway, you can see.
Hey Ted, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey, go. Are you sharing a screen with us?
Oh, I thought I was. I'm not.
No, yeah. Go ahead and share it.
Let's see.
Here, and I can get it up for you.
How about now?
Let me go ahead and add it. There you go.
No, my bad.
No worries.
My bad. So here you go. Here's their projected global EV market by 2025. Here's what they're looking at. I'll go back one page. I went here again. I went to ideanomics.com. We'll go back to Idenomics Capital. And then here's their fintech situation that they're looking at here as well. So you could, I don't know, I don't know, did you all catch this? Were you able to see this? Let's go here. So I'll go back over this again. So this is what they look like one day out. This is just one day, right? So 5 days out, this is what their stock looked like. It was at $3.97. But if you hop over here to 3 months, they were 87 cents and they rose in the past 3 months to $5.53. So 94.75% in January is big, but you can see where they started and where they ended up at. So super huge growth there, and you can see what they're actually into as to why they grew and what was going on. So again, we want to get into more into like what these companies have, where they're located, the culture of the company, getting people in the tech from that. I actually want to bring people on from these companies. So we got to do a better job of getting out there and tapping into these companies and tweeting to them and getting them on the show so we can have a discussion. All right, cool. All right, that's all I have for this week. I'm sorry about the glitch there. But again, come back next week. We'll have more. I want to really dive off into this and let us know your thoughts. If you can leave comments below, that'd be great. So we know that you're at least watching and start engaging. And again, see you in Slack and see you next week.